I was just thinking about this. I was talking to my mom and she was just like, oh, like, how are you doing? She's like, a lot of people voted for, Trump. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, I saw on Facebook a lot of our own people voted for Trump. And I'm like, this is crazy to me that we would leave a country that was divided. We would leave a country that didn't allot us a better life. And we would come to this country and we are now voting for things that are going to make this country like a country that people want to leave. The election in 2016, people joked, oh, I'm going to a different country. Like, this is insane to me. Like, we're regressing as a nation and people don't see it as we're regressing as a nation. But it's not until we look like all those other countries that we're like, oh, look at that stuff happening in that shithole country. We are becoming that shithole country. Yes. If you're not able to have abortion access, if you're not able to have the right to speak out against your president, if you're not able to vote in an election, like, that is fascism. That is not okay. And I think people, if you're not able to talk about the history of the nation that you existed, if you're not able to talk about slavery, if people don't have a basic understanding of what race is in this country and how it came to be, we are losing, and we are losing bad, and I'm scared and I'm terrified.
And your messaging is based on identity politics that the average everyday American gives no fucks about. And you think that's going to win you an election? That's why you fucking lost.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ladies of Sosa podcast. My name is Sahra.
And my name is Christine.
Today, we are doing a post-election episode with our Black Diaspora panelists. I mean,
everybody here is.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm like, you know what? Only Calvin is African-American.
Oh, Calvin,
so.
Yeah, sorry. You're right.
But still, that's not the full representation.
Right. And Calvin.
Right.
Hey, FBAs are not black diaspora. Yeah.
Already.
Right, Calvin?
No,
that's what they said in the comments.
Yeah, whatever.
We'll talk about that.
Let's introduce the
panel. So we will start with.
Might as well start with Calvin.
Let's start with Calvin.
Okay, Calvin Ford. My Instagram is pawpaw_Ford, PAW_Ford, and I'm Black American.
Love to see it. Go ahead, Vaida. Real quick.
It's Vaida. I'm South Sudanese, obviously.
And then, I'm like, I forget. Everybody doesn't do long intros anymore. And then Jojo's getting a little set up. Jojo's new, so he's still getting adjusted. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Jojo.
All right, guys. I'm Jojo.
Emmanuel, go ahead.
Emmanuel_Emmanuel Comedy. You see me on TikTok. You see me on other.
Seen him on the episode. Yeah. And then Willy.
Willy, yeah, good job.
Okay, love it. What's with the glasses today?
No, I just, like, this is when I wear glasses, I feel different,
I see.
This is Willy's alter ego.
Yes.
This is a different.
This is William.
Yeah.
William. No, not even William.
It's like someone more like, I don't know, unhinged.
William is
Will I Am.
Yes, this is Will I Am. We got to give him a name for this.
That's Willy. It's Will I Am.
Yeah.
That's the attitude he has.
All right. And then Tariq.
Tariq Arnabe, 20, U.S. citizen. Gonna get deported.
Whoa, U.S. citizen. Okay.
Make clarification.
All right, guys. So in this episode, we're going to be breaking down the recent election and the results. Obviously, everyone had their respective candidates that they were supporting. But now that we know the turnout and like the results and stuff, we just want to take a second to kind of debrief and talk about kind of what were our initial reactions on election night, as well as what we think the future of the country is going to hold now that President Trump is going to be our 47th president of the United States of America. So as we know, I don't know if you guys watched the, which episode was that? The Black Diaspora.
The Black Diaspora. Discussing the pre-election.
Right.
Yeah.
Calvin clearly was in support of Trump. So I want to take it to him first because his candidate actually won, and the results, he kind of won by a lot. So how do you feel?
I voted the second day of early voting. I always do early voting. I don't like being in the lines of election day. But I went in. Actually, I picked the president last. I went in and did all my local stuff first. And that ballot was purple. So it was a mixture for me. Then the president, I did write my name, but then I just like, we in Texas, he gonna win it anyway, pretty much.
You sure about that, Calvin? It's okay if you voted for Trump.
No, I did.
He
I just said
admitted,
that.
yeah. he
Okay,
said
first
it.
of all, I just want to disclaimer:
Did you vote
no,
for Ted
no
Cruz?
judgment, no judgment on the panel,
Okay.
so that it's
No, I'm
fair.
just
I don't want
asking.
anyone to be
I'm just asking.
afraid to say what they
definitely
think
not. But
because
Ted
of
Cruz,
pushback. Yeah.
I didn't vote for him because I saw you at the airport when the Texans needed you. To me, that's not leadership at all. That.
Give context for people who may not.
The Texas
So when the
freeze.
Texas freeze happened, he was on his way to Cancun. Talking about he was making sure his family got there. But you got to carry on.
Yeah, and
But I digress.
people in Texas were freezing.
Yes.
Literally.
They were
Yeah.
dying.
That's not leadership to me. So I voted. I did early voting. Actually, my mama really was like, "Did you really vote for him?"
Because I know you said your family, like all of them, were giving you
group
smoke
chat
about it.
asking me who I voted for. Of course, I'm trolling at this point. So yeah, I did. But I think this was the Democrat Party. They lost it more than the Republicans won it. They wasn't talking about key issues for America. I feel like they were just pushing one narrative, not one narrative, but one issue, in which it was reproductive rights, which is it is an issue, but that's not the main American issue. Like that's not on the top of the list. And the Democrats lost their base for as the working class. You saw a lot of working class people voted for Donald Trump, and I was surprised that she lost by a landslide. Like I knew she was gonna lose, but I didn't think she was gonna lose like that.
According to the polls, you're supposed to be close.
But that's why you don't believe the polls.
Yeah,
You don't believe. Have you ever got asked a question about a poll? Well, like, man, have you ever got polled?
If somebody texts me,
No, I mean, I text them, stop. Unsubscribe me, please.
Exactly.
Well, the problem with her is like she lost 15 million liberal voters,
Right.
so they didn't even show up. So there was no people.
And
getting
the
excited
media is
about
not talking about that.
it. Yeah,
They're
it's
not
like-
talking about. They're not talking about the people that didn't show up
Mhm,
because Joe Biden won with like 80-some million,
mhm.
Yeah.
and she had 66 million. So a
Trump
lot of people
actually
chose the couch,
Trump actually had less votes than he did
and when he won the first time,
when he won the first time and last time
When he lost.
and when he
He
lost.
had less
Yeah.
votes than when he
and
lost.
what shocked me,
Right.
he won the popular vote.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they won.
He
all
won
the
like
way
all
down.
across the board.
Yeah.
So it's just like
That tells
I
you
blame
right.
the Democrats.
I blame the Democrats too because number one, they didn't target the working class, and number two, they never looked at the issues outside of what they were going. She had 100 days to get ready for what she was doing. Number one, Joe for taking that long to like bow out is insane. I blame the Democratic leadership and all of them in the DNC, even though they've never been about the people. It's just a group of elitist people who think that the average everyday person is too dumb or too uneducated to understand the issues. No, my issue is I'm hungry, right? I'm not getting the money that I need. We're in a recession right now. Why the fuck aren't you speaking to me? I don't care about your fairy tale issues. This is from the point of view of the everyday person. What are you gonna do for me?
Yeah.
Nah, and that was the whole thing of it. It's like Kamala looked like somebody that wasn't caring about the everyday person. They looked like elitists, and at the end of the day, I'm not gonna vote for somebody that's not talking to me like I'm a regular person. And that's where the
Democrats did a lot of talking down.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say this. I low key agree with you guys. I feel like the Democratic Party is very exclusionary. They want to appeal so much to the minorities, but by definition, when you're appealing, all you care about is appealing to the minorities, you're gonna lose. It'll be because you have to appeal to the majority as well. You know, and a lot of
when you say minority, what do you mean?
like Democratic Party is always like, oh, we care about LGBTQ issues.
That's what I was gonna say, man. It's like
LGBTQ issues.
Good politics.
Yeah,
kinda
it's like you know, like
good politics,
black issues.
not really that. It's
Illegal immigrants. Like, yes, you're being very you care about the people that society might not look for, but at the same time, you have to appeal to a majority to win an election.
They was trying to take care of other people's homes versus their home.
Yeah, and like the Democratic Party abandoned the working class.
Yeah,
because here's the thing. Here's the reality. Like we live in a country right now where men, in general, are less going to college than women. Women are doing better in college than men. Like 75% of suicide, successful suicides are by men. The most people that get incarcerated are men. So you have to address men's issues as well. You can't just tell men, oh, you benefit of patriarchy, and you feel like if you're trying to appeal to men, somehow you're contributing to the patriarchy. That means you're excluding such a big part of the community, you know.
Yeah.
And you cannot win an election if you're not getting a majority, you know.
Can I ask, were you expecting the election results to go the way that they did?
I did not. Obviously, I was expecting Kamala Harris to win.
You wanted her to win, actually.
Yeah, I wanted her to win very much. I was. That's why I was up at 4 a.m. and that's why I posted on the group chat.
You're having these grievances against the Democratic Party, but you also voted for Kamala. So I just want that to be known.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that's what, like I
it's okay to have grievances.
Yeah, exactly, because I see like the Democratic Party. I'm criticizing because like my own little brother. When my own little brother is telling me like, you know, I'm gonna vote for, like, I like Trump, like, you know. And I'm trying to lecture him about Trump. It's like, I shouldn't have to do that. The Democratic Party should be able to get to him before me. You know, because Gen Z men, more than us as millennials, Gen Z men are all the way to the right. That's the surprise about this whole election. You know, Gen Z men are all the way to the right. Like these young men are growing up and they're being told you're a misogynist. You're part of the patriarchy. Like, you know, they're being labeled as villains when in their whole life they're just struggling, you know.
So they feel like they'll be able to
get their life on track. Somebody like Trump speaks to them and they're like, you know, like, welcome.
Ooh,
like
wow.
The Republican Party speaks to them.
That's deep.
But if you're trying to win the election, you have to appeal to more. Yes, the truth can be something else, but if you're trying to win elections, you have to appeal to a broad, and I feel like the Democratic Party has abandoned a lot of men, has abandoned a lot of working class people, and
straight men.
Yeah, straight men don't feel represented in the Democratic Party.
Yeah, exactly. You know.
Okay.
Think
Tariq, you didn't say anything. Go ahead. Do you want to?
Oh.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I kind of I do agree with a lot of the stuff that he said. Is like, yeah, with the Democratic Party. This is why, like, even like when they say who do I support, it's like I'm just against Trump. I don't support anybody. If Trump was against a chair, I was going to vote for the chair. It didn't matter who it was, because it wasn't about Trump. It was about the people that he's going to be putting into these institutions to kind of take down democracy. But beyond that, I think a lot of the appeal that happened is because in Greece, it was a philosopher called Socrates, and Socrates was against democracy for one of the main reason he was against democracy is for an appeal to a demagogue, which is somebody who can just give you easy answers, and that's what Trump kind of appeals to a man, to just give you easy answers. Where when they said, "Oh, how are you gonna
I'll fix the
healthcare," he's like, "Oh yeah, give me 2 weeks." It's been 2 weeks for 10 years.
I got a plan.
He's never done it.
Yeah.
So it's easy answers, and a lot of time with the Democratic Party, it's like they're very they want to be they want to appeal to everybody.
Inclusive.
That it gets to a point where it's like, you're not appealing to me, because now you have an answer that you can, 1 + 1 is always going to equal 2. You cannot have a 1 + 1 equal for everybody.
You
just give me a straight answer, and I think with the Democratic Party is like
that's their weakness.
Yeah, and like you pointed out, like Trump got the same exact vote that he got last election, 74 million. Kamala Harris got 70 million, while Biden got 81 million. Mm-hmm. So that's 11 million people. Democrats either did not vote, because Trump got all his people out. Because the one thing about the Republican Party, they're going to show out for an election, and 11 million Democrats or independents did not vote for her, because one of the key issues that they had was Gaza, what's happening with Palestine and Israel. She never gave an answer to that. And another answer is like when she was with The View and they asked her a pointed question, it's like,
what would you do
differently?
What
would you do different with Biden?
She won't speak hypothetically.
Nothing.
She said nothing comes to mind.
And then another point, even another point beyond that. And another thing with black votes, they actually showed out to the same amount historically that they did with the Democratic Party. Like there wasn't no big shift in black male vote or female vote, but a lot of them stayed home as well, because when she was, I think it was with Charlemagne or somebody, and they asked her, what would you do with black people? And she was like, well, I'm not going to do a policy for black people. But it's like, wait a minute.
Just for black people.
3 years ago, just for black people. 2-3 years ago, Biden came out and did a policy just for Asians when Asians was getting attacked.
And
so what do you mean?
The percentage of Asians voted for Trump, it was like 55,
so,
60%. So
what do you
they got
mean?
a bill, and
at
then
some point you're gonna have to, if this demographic is voting for you 90%,
you should do something for them. Right?
Like, why should they keep? Because Latino men, predominantly 60% of them voted for Trump.
That was the biggest switch.
So you have to choose a demographic and say, this is what I'm going to do for you. And white women, they kept a secret. 60% of them voted for Trump as well, because at the end of the day,
they always vote what the husband wants.
Yeah.
Do you see why black Americans are frustrated with Democrat Party though?
Yeah, because
we show up for you every 4 years.
They showed up again this election.
And we get out. We get the backhand.
But Calvin.
What have we gotten?
You voted Republican
for the first time.
But like majority
I'm
of us.
I'm 3-0 in presidential election.
But majority of us.
I'm 3-0. I'm just saying. I voted for Obama in 2012. Joe.
But
I voted for Trump.
But like black women, and black men, like in general, they felt like. But we needed people to have our back.
There's not enough percentage of black people anymore. It's like the percentage of black people is like 30%. There's more Latinos than black people.
That's
we keep
why
killing ourselves.
Well, let's take a second because
but that's why I'm glad you brought that up, because that's why as FBAs you guys need us. Join you guys.
Hold on.
No,
we're gonna come back to that. So Bernie Sanders came out with a statement, and
that was a good.
That's what.
But
that's who should have won in 2016.
That's what.
Yeah. So Bernie Sanders came out with a statement, and he said it should come as no great surprise that a Democratic Party, which has abandoned working class people, would find that the working class has abandoned them. He said, while the Democratic leadership defends the status quo, the American people are angry and want change, and they're right. And I think that's true because with the results of this election, like it literally was a red wave. If you look at the map, he basically won all of the states that were...
They cracked the blue wall.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So he won all of the states that were like being contested.
And even in the blue states, he did so much.
He got Georgia, Arizona.
Even like all the other states shifted to the right. Even like California, he didn't lose by that much.
No, he changed
New Jersey,
a lot of
didn't lose by that
red.
much. New York. Yeah,
he won the popular vote, the presidency, the House, and the Senate. The results are something that you can't ignore. Like the American people have spoken, and from what Bernie Sanders is saying, I think that makes sense what he said about the working class people. The main issue, one of the main issues I feel like with this election was the economy, just because people are hurting so bad. So even if they didn't necessarily like Trump, I feel like people were going to vote for whoever would speak to what they were going through currently with their
pockets. We all work with people we don't like, right?
Right.
Yeah.
There's some people I don't like at work. But I still got to come to work and get bills paid, keep my health care. You know, so this whole, he don't like, but so what?
Well,
as long as you don't disrespect me.
The economy
and
is
I think
worse.
what you like with that, what you're saying as well, right, like the Democratic Party is divided completely. Like even what you were saying, your grievances, and you voted Democrat, like a lot of Democratic people have had issue with what the Democratic policies have been. And so then you start seeing like a shift in numbers and like people like states that you typically vote this way, now they're voting this way or whatever, or even like race, like black people are now like, and Latinos are now changing how they vote. And I think it's because there's such a divide. And I think the Republican Party has kind of always been united, and I
took
think
advantage of that.
Part of that is like also like there's a lot of racism, and a lot of racist people do vote Republican, and that's never gonna change.
That can't be the whole reason.
I'm saying that's
it's not the whole reason.
Yeah,
but it's part of it.
It is part of it. There's people who are not gonna vote for Kamala because she's a woman
and she's black and she's a color,
and then there's people who are not gonna vote for her because she's black. Or whatever she is, a minority.
She's not white.
That is a huge chunk of people.
Yes,
you know,
and it's always
like, they might not be like no. We're not saying that decided the election, but that is a huge. Like I've heard people say, I would never vote a woman an election, and there's people who are like, I would never. There were so many Biden voters who soon as he switched and Kamala started running, they switched.
Yes, that's a fact.
Because she's a black woman.
People are not happy with the last 4 years, And I feel like when she said that there was nothing that she would change, I think that was very damaging to her campaign. The fact that she didn't take that opportunity to distance herself.
And y'all saw what happened the day after the
the
election.
Biden presidency.
But if you think
said,
about
I
it,
don't fuck with that nigga. He a fuck nigga.
No, she should. She
she
could have said that. You know, he's doing what he can. She's obviously a part of the cabinet, so she can't do that. But I feel like she could have came up with at least one thing that she would do.
But I think what
But
me and Willy trying to say
that would be
a,
if she says something that would be betraying
party.
Biden, the person that put her as a vice president. Like if you're my boss,
president.
No. But if you're my boss and they're asking me like, they're pretty much asking me like,
if you had his job,
say some shit.
What's something that you would change?
Say something bad about Christine. I'm not gonna do that.
No, they didn't say something bad.
But that's literally that's what.
If there's something that you could do differently than your boss,
you interview him for his.
What would it be? That's not bad.
So like what? He has to say something bad about.
No, she doesn't have to say something bad about it. She doesn't have, because she's a part of it. She can say, okay, now looking hindsight, this is something that I feel like we could have done differently. This is what I would change. And you don't have to attack anybody, because attacking him would be attacking herself.
And Joe Biden threw her under the bus. She was the main advisory for me. She was making some of the same decisions I was.
Here's the thing. I feel like Joe wanted Trump to get back in office. Anyway.
He don't like her.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Joe, because he waited till 100 days before. Like, come on.
If they didn't force him, he would have kept running.
Of course, like that guy. Of course, he wants to get a second term because for history, like first time, like one time presidents are looked as failures.
He was a failure.
So this back-to-back.
I want to.
The economy, as much as people want to hate on the economy is great right now.
Boy, you been to the grocery store?
So you think what? Like Trump is gonna get?
If you think look at the numbers,
yeah,
it is great.
The economy is great right now. But guess what? Trump is gonna get in, take credit like he did the last time of Obama's economy.
And that's the issue.
We got some good.
When I say with Socrates, why he was against democracy is because the lack of a lot of voters don't look. They just look at analytic, anecdotal evidence. Like, what am I doing right now? Instead of looking at the full picture. The economy is not as great as before Trump got in office, because after Obama left, the economy was much better. But inflation rose because of an issue, which is COVID, and COVID was global. And if you look at globally, the United States is doing much better than every other nation, nation in the world. Now you can say, well, when I go to the grocery store, I'm paying more. Well, yes, you can say that, because a lot of the corporations, when they got those Trump tax cuts, which are we still under the Trump tax cuts, they did not put those money back into the workers. They gave every worker $1,000 bonuses, and every person clapped their hands like, "Oh my God, I'm getting $1,000 bonuses!" But they're getting billions in tax cuts that they're supposed to be doing in raising wages.
They're doing buybacks.
Wages have not. If you look at wages from 1985 or 1982, when Reagan came in and put in Reaganomics as far as supply side economics versus demand side economics. Wages have stagnated from 1984 till now, and corporate profits have nothing, just risen the whole time. So when you look at the S&P 500, it is now at a record high, but nobody is getting that money. It's not trickling down to nobody. So everybody that's complaining, saying, "Oh well, wages is going down," wages is going to get even worse, because these companies are going to get even more tax cuts, and they're going to use those tax cuts to get more it's called stock buybacks to increase the stocks, because the CEOs don't get paid about how the workers are getting paid. They get paid about the performance of the stocks. These billionaires are all going to do the same thing, and that's the same thing with Musk is doing.
In theory,
because
they know,
in theory, they're supposed to pass this money to their employees, but they don't. Yeah. They put it on stock buybacks. Just to make themselves even more richer.
When Calvin was saying, like, you should go to the grocery store. If you want to go to the grocery store, go to Winco. Winco is an employee owned grocery stores, and you'll see the prices.
They do got some good meat.
Way different than when you go to Kroger's, which is.
Aldi, bro. Man, people sleep on
Aldi. Aldi is also European. Yeah. Those type of grocery stores, when you go there,
$3 wines,
the price are different.
Them must be strong. $3 wines.
Sorry. Shout out to Aldi. I do want to ask you,
that's fact.
Calvin, with the last episode that we did on the pre-elections, and you voting for Trump, the feedback that you got, how do you feel like people received that from you?
I would say about 50-50. And then the negative comments, I'm not too much tripping about it. It's, like I said, they keyboard warriors, so I'm not tripping. I'm not gonna meet you in real life. Probably if you do, whatever. We'll handle that.
I will find you in real life.
Yeah.
Well, some people.
But like it's to me, I've seen it's people all on Facebook and all that talking about you voted this way, we not cool no more. Okay, all right, that's fine. If you let an election break up our friendship or whatever, that's on you. I'm not tripping on it because, like I said, the local election is way more important. We don't even pick the president. The electoral college do. So, but I just feel like my main thing was the immigration, economy, and the global aspect of it.
I do
as soon
feel
as
like
he won, what happened?
Calvin, I do feel like there was a lot of anti-immigration that went into how everybody voted.
Oh, I got a question about that. Thank you for bringing that.
What don't you like about immigration, my brother?
So it's not to me, it hinders Black Americans when you have massive immigration and illegal immigration. But with the immigration thing, so with the illegal immigrants, so-called about to get deported or whatnot, for the people that did migrate here the correct way, y'all don't feel some type of way of somebody just coming over here, kind of getting in quicker than you did?
Nope, because I like my strawberries at $3.
Because like
that's what they do.
Immigrants have built this country.
No,
I know.
No,
and like anti-immigration goes way back.
Not. Black people
goes way
built
back.
this nation.
Like even in the 1800s, 1900s,
we was here.
They always hated immigrants. They always blamed everything on immigrants. But America has needed immigrants. America is what it is because they keep bringing immigrants to this country.
And this is.
But we're not gonna say immigrants built this country. They did not.
They did. Can I point that out when we say the immigrants did not build this country? Immigrants did build this country because.
Let him talk, bro.
I don't know you, bro. Like I don't know why you've been talking to me. But what I'm trying to say is immigrants built this country because a lot the Irish when they came in, the Italians, most of the railroad tracks were built by Chinese immigrants who came here in the 1800s and the 1700s. So when people say immigrants did not build this country, most of the United States were immigrants because Texas was part of Mexico until we got annexed by America. The Louisiana Purchase, where French was in Louisiana, those were immigrants. That's why they speak Creole. When you go up to Washington, all those places were built by immigrants. So when Black people are saying, well, we are the foundation and we built everything, it's like, yes, y'all built the majority of things, but you cannot at the same point then push out all those other immigrants who came in here and say that they're not important. Because this country was built as a collective.
Immigrants played a part in building the country.
It was built as a
This country is what it is because they brought immigrants here.
When did the immigrants come here?
What do you mean? Immigrants? The Irish were immigrants, right? Italians were immigrants. The Chinese were immigrants. Like everybody that came here, besides the people that were brought here by slave ships, were immigrants.
Wait, technically that forced
immigration.
And this is that far, bro.
All I'm gonna say is like, Calvin, I've heard you about the FBA thing, but obviously, 93% of women voted Democrat.
93% of Black women.
Of Black women, of course. Our women.
80%.
Yeah,
of Black
women, and then 80% of Black women, of Black men, voted Democrat. And like FBA, whatever, as a movement, like you guys
are conservative.
You guys need more people because majority of Black people.
Those people you just said.
Majority of Black people don't agree with you guys. And unless you're saying no.
But hold on.
Like the reason, Let me finish. Let me finish. The reason I'm saying that is because I've reached out to every Black person that I know, and like, and they keep telling me like, no, we don't agree with that bullshit. I'm like, I've reached out to my boys. I'm like, yo, am I Black? They're like, bro, really, you're Black. Like,
That's what.
But FBA says I'm not Black. But like, you guys are a minority. So I feel like this is a battle between FBA needs to fight with other Black people before you come at Africans, because majority of Black people.
So is it three separate Black people?
No. Like majority of Black people, look at us as Black. and you guys are like, oh no, and you guys want to be like, oh, we support Trump.
Yeah, we
you guys are a minority.
Surface.
Do you agree with that?
Ethnically,
you guys are a minority. Calvin,
so what do you call our
in your
culture?
own community, you're a minority,
American.
right?
That's what you
No,
are.
that's a nationality.
Yes,
no,
that's an
Calvin.
You're an American nationality.
I'm saying like in your own community, you're a minority.
No, I'm not.
You are. You voted for Trump, right? How many black people? Like what percentage of black people voted for Trump?
Hold on, and
30% of black men voted for Trump.
No, 20. Less than 20%. 18%.
Yes,
You're wrong. You're wrong.
Hey,
you're wrong.
Time out. Hold on. Let's bring this all the way back. Okay.
So it's just
Willy, relax.
I'm actually on Willy's side, bro.
I know it's getting heated.
No.
Relax.
Let him cook.
I guess the question is. I guess with me too. I'm honestly confused as well because like you on the last episode you said like being on code, and if like when Africans come here we need to be on code, and so I'm like, okay, I get what you're saying with that, but then when you say you're voting for Donald Trump, I'm like, whoa, like. To me, that's completely off code for me.
What being on code
I
is?
guess let me say it. Let me talk. But like I guess like the part that I'm getting confused is like how can because a lot of people that vote for Donald Trump are also like white supremacists, like anti-immigration, anti a lot of things that are
anti-black,
like, anti-black. So how can that be being on code? For me, I'm asking this like as a personal question because I'm like that confuses me as well. And I agree. I understand you and like you have a right to vote for who you vote for, but that's the part that threw me off a little bit.
Well, most of the things that the Democrat Party is anti-black too, but we just brainwashed into voting for them.
Okay.
Look, the whole abortion thing. Who is proportionally getting most of these abortions? It's black women. That's killing. Since 1973, 20 million black babies have been killed. That's why we've been at the 13% for as our population. And the owner, not the owner, but the founder, what's her name? Margaret Sanger.
Mm-hmm.
Her whole ordeal was to exterminate the black community with abortion.
What about the immunity for police officers? From my understanding, to me, when black people are like being like murdered at a higher rate than white people, to me, Donald Trump said that he wants to give blanket immunity to police officers. To me, that doesn't
that's
make
they
sense.
personal assets.
What about the fact that Republicans want to take out slavery out of books?
Then take those books and put them in your home. Why are we worried about what the
but in school.
Then why would you vote for the party that wants to do this like against black people?
So Democrats are not against black people?
I'm not saying that they're not.
Can you give me
no?
But like Democratic policy that's against
93% of black women voted Democrat. 80% of black men voted Democrat.
We're talking about right now, though. I'm talking about right now. Yeah, 1984. That's 40 years.
1994.
Okay, so 994. That's what.
32 years.
32 years.
31. 30 years.
Now,
hey brothers, this is a post-election episode.
No, I just want
like,
I
understand.
Right
we could do this in another. We can do this in another episode. But this is specifically about this election. And this is about
I'm not gonna
what has happened.
I apologize, but I am pissed off that Trump
because the council have been voted off.
Okay, with that being said, Trump obviously won the election. He is now the president. Just to close out the episode, final thoughts on how we can move forward, because obviously the election is done. The people have spoken. He's going to be the president. He's going to be inaugurated in January. What are some things that we can hope for or aspire to moving forward now that he's won? There's nothing that
we need our own January 6th.
Jesus Christ.
I am, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, wait, okay.
Alter ego.
Can I roast Democrats real quick? Y'all did have your own January 6th. They have blue bracelets, and then they started to tell Palestinians and other people, and they started to blame other people for their mistakes. That was
Emmanuel. I'll give you this though. I feel like the Democratic Party
started crying.
Like when it came to the
losers.
When it came to the Palestinian issue, the fact that Kamala was like just staying away instead of addressing the fact that it's a genocide going on, I think that played against her, because a lot of ethical people are just like, I cannot vote for somebody who contributes to genocide.
That's so political. Like that.
No,
but that's politics.
All I would say
they played that
like I said in the last episode. Soon as Trump had got elected, all the world peace is starting to happen now.
Wait, what?
What?
Wait, what?
Have y'all not?
We just got.
You said world peace?
China want to come to the table and be our friends again.
Negative.
Nah,
Go look it
hell
up.
no.
China's about
The
to
day
take
he
over.
got elected, the next day, November 6th.
China's doing a statement like they know this guy.
Okay, hold on. I
United
want to
States
get
have
Vaida.
never had
Vaida.
a year out of war conflict since 1945.
Go ahead, Vaida.
Well, I was disappointed by this election, as many Americans were, but I wasn't surprised because I was hopeful, but I wasn't surprised because I think a lot of times when tragic things happen, a lot of times it's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this happened. This isn't who we are. But I think this is exactly who we are. This is exactly what people want. And we are going to get, like Willy said in the group chat, exactly what Americans are going to get, what Americans deserve. Or not necessarily, I don't think we all deserve the outcome, but Americans are going to get exactly what they selected.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to get. And I hope that this, because I think a lot of different demographics voted for him. You have Christian nationalists, you have a lot of white men, white women. It's just a lot of people voted for him from all different types of walks of life,
Amish.
working class people. And it's unfortunate that they thought that this would be the thing that would push us as a society forward. And I'm just like, okay, it's only like, I think they only have to see it for themselves. Like if these 4 years go positively, then it goes positively. They were right, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Never say they were right.
Unfortunately, with Project 2025, a lot of things are in the works. You have the Department of Education is going to be abolished. You have abortion is still, it's left to states' rights. People are dying, and it's weird to me how people are pro-life, but people have actually been dying because they're not able to get abortion access. So surgeries and treatments that doctors once gave to women who were actually at risk, like their lives are literally on the line, they are not even able to do those services. They're not even able to, because at first, initially, I thought with this issue that women would be able to like, oh, if you wanted abortion, just go to like another state that allows abortion, but there's actual critical care needed in that moment, and they're not able to do those stuff. Even an article I saw that doctors are afraid to even discuss that in certain states like Texas. So people are going to die, and so whenever that abortion topic was talked about, that is something that is also going to disproportionately affect Black women who are already experiencing maternal mortality. And Kamala Harris, she tried to be a president. She tried to campaign as a president for everybody. So I don't like the notion that, I know the Democratic Party does have a lot of elitism in it, as well as it appeals to a lot of people that are in that part of their lives, because the language that is even used creates a barrier of entry, because this country, a lot of people aren't educated. A lot of the solutions aren't 1 + 1 = 2. A lot of the solutions are complex, so I think it's really hard to, there needs to be a messaging shift for the Democratic Party, because the Republican Party is able to market and simplify things. And so we're missing out. Democrats are missing out on a big base. And I think a lot of people voted against the future that would benefit them. A lot of immigrants voted against their own people. And it's just hard. Like, I was just thinking about this. I was talking to my mom, and she was just like, oh, like, how are you doing? And I'm like, she's like, a lot of people voted for, Trump. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, I saw on Facebook, a lot of our own people voted for Trump. And I'm like, this is crazy to me that we would leave a country that was divided. We would leave a country that didn't allot us a better life. And we would come to this country, and we are now voting for things that are going to make this country like a country that people want to leave. The election in 2016, people joked, oh, I'm going to a different country. Like, this is insane to me. Like, we're regressing as a nation, and people don't see it as we're regressing as a nation. But it's not until we look like all those other countries that we're like, oh, look at that stuff happening in that shithole country. We are becoming that shithole country. Yes. If you're not able to have abortion access, if you're not able to have the right to speak out against your president, if you're not able to vote in an election, like, that is fascism. That is not okay. And I think people, if you're not able to talk about the history of the nation that you existed, if you're not able to talk about slavery, if people don't have a basic understanding of what race is in this country and how it came to be, we are losing, and we are losing bad. And I'm scared and I'm terrified as an educator. I look at those kids every day for dismissal, and I'm like, your futures are going to be radically different by the decisions that people made or didn't make. Some of them might not even make that future, and people are being radicalized day and day by the media we consume on these devices that is actually marketing to young men who are lost and confused, and they're able to identify with men that are right-winged. And it's just like, it's a lot to process. And I didn't mean to say all those things, but I have all those emotions and more. And all I want to do is care about myself, of course, and my community. And I want to pour into my community and all the people that look like me. And I want to lock in, because we just witnessed how you can have all the things. She literally worked in every part of all the branches of government.
But she's not qualified.
She was the senator. She was a prosecutor. She worked as a vice president. All the branches of government. People that don't even know what the branches of government are.
But she's not.
They're going to vote against her. She worked in all three of those positions. And the thing.
That's the problem right there. Is like,
she wasn't able to get the job, and she wasn't able to. America saw that she wasn't fit for the job. It's crazy to me that she was ever even going against a woman of her caliber, of her stature. He should never have been in the conversation. But white supremacy wins again. Yes. White privilege wins again, and we're gonna get the future that we selected as Americans.
And I'm okay with that. I hope shit goes badly.
Yeah,
I'm
learn.
okay.
No, we're gonna. So we're here though. We can't do that.
We can't wish for the bad. I wish it goes as well.
The reason I said that is because like
sore losers.
We're doing the same thing that we did in 2016, where it's like a woman is not good enough, even though she's qualified in every other way. She's not good enough. And then Kamala, like, she has all the qualifications, and then you hear some women are like, I don't like her, and you ask them, why do you not like her?
I agree.
I don't know, something about her I don't like. Like even women, like especially white women, voted against Kamala Harris.
Yeah, and even the same reasons that they put against Kamala Harris, saying that we don't understand, we don't know her policies. Trump had very vague policies as well. Yeah, like he has very concepts. So they're like
this nigga was so scared to debate her.
He said no.
Yeah, so I do think that misogyny and misogynoir played a part in it, and it's bullshit. And it's bullshit, honestly, because like what you said, Kamala was more than qualified to meet this position and be in this position. And the fact that she got so much backlash is absolutely. I'm not saying her losing, but the fact the backlash is absolutely ridiculous. But not only from men, from black men, from
Can I say this?
Black men was on her ass.
Can I say
they
this?
Were.
We talk about misogyny and this misogyny that 60% of white women voted for Trump.
Yeah.
80% of black men voted for. So how are we against?
80% of black men voted for Kamala. So why are we blaming black men instead of
I'm sorry.
voting for white women?
No, I think black women just like to blame black men.
Yeah, my bad.
When your messaging.
Well, I guess I was talking to Calvin.
When your messaging is based
it's not
on
misogyny, it's the messaging.
You guys,
your messaging
you
is
don't
based,
need to be a man to perpetuate misogyny.
Okay,
patriarchy has absolutely no gender.
True. When your messaging is based on identity politics that the average everyday American gives no fucks about, and you think that's going to win you an election, that's why you fucking lost.
And you can't get mad when they vote based on identity.
And this is Michigan, who got a female governor, voted for Trump. So overall, Michigan does have no issue with misogyny. They voted for Trump because, and this is why I go back to with the demagogue and simple messaging. Trump just gave a simple answer to everything. He doesn't know. Like, they literally asked him about healthcare. He's like, I have a concept. Because the American people, overall, the majority are stupid.
First off,
they are going to pick whoever speaks to them in a good way.
I think she messed up. I think the first.
They voted for him.
There's a reason he won the
Can we edit now, ladies, please?
Most people are uneducated.
The majority of Americans are stupid.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna close this out. I do want to, before we close it out, I do want to highlight somebody's thoughts about like how South Sudanese people also have been voting for Trump, and like
we could talk about that later.
We can talk about that later. But I think there's a reason behind that, but we'll talk about that in another episode. So, a lot of the topic of conversation on this podcast is how the community is not as connected as we could be. There's not as much events as there has been back in the day with our parents' generation, but we are making the first step to solve this with Auntie Akwat, who was in our last episode.
So the elders of the South Sudanese community in the DFW Metroplex are partnering with Ladies of Sosa to put on a community event on December 14th where the elders and the young people will be invited. It's going to be a holiday event for us to all get together and have an open dialogue between the elders and the youth regarding different issues that we face. Yes. Food will be served.
Food will be served, and there's going to be the youth and the elders. And I think this is just like an incredible opportunity for us to come together, because there is a disconnect that we have obviously talked about on our podcast, and a lot of people have said and noticed. And so we're trying to bridge that gap between the younger generation, the older generation, and in between. And I think this is Auntie Akwat. Actually, it was the one who said, we want to partner with you guys. So this is their chance to work with us. And so we have no complaints at this point. We always say our parents are not doing their job and the elders not doing their job. They're doing it now. They're saying, let's do something together. So we want everybody to be there. December 14th.
It's just going to be just like all the events that we had growing up that we really, really missed. Yes. I know I really missed where the elders are there and the youth are there. It's going to be served.
And Auntie's giving us autonomy on how we want to run the event. So we're thinking maybe do a little episode, a mini, a panel.
Like a town hall.
Yeah, like a town hall panel where it's the elders and the youth and the elders. And we kind of have a episode because they watch the show. And so they want us to discuss things that we're going through.
You're gonna let other people just ask questions and.
Yeah, like a town
hall. An open mic.
Yeah, an open mic town hall discussion.
That's great what y'all doing though, bringing the old generation and new generation, because we need that in our community.
I'm excited.
It's
especially
necessary.
Around the holidays, I feel like that's just going to be really, really awesome.
It's a quote saying that young people that hang around older people, they move faster around amongst their peers. And older people that take advice from younger people move faster amongst their peers.
Yeah.
So you
there
need
you
each
have
other.
it. And that's a perfect way to
that. Come on,
So
Calvin.
be there or be square. December 14th, everyone in the DFW Metroplex, bring a friend, free food. And
you African.
That's good.
Yes.
I'm gonna use that.
But without further ado, we're going to wrap up this episode, guys. Obviously, the elections happened. If your candidate lost, I'm sorry. If your candidate won, congratulations. Altogether, we just want to move forward as a country. Please leave your comments below.
Yes, and I do want to say, because people are going to get on the comments and be like, there was not an African-American woman on the podcast. I tried my best, okay? I'm in charge.
I'll bring one next time.
Yeah,
please,
okay,
please.
I try to get all my friends, but all my friends live in all different parts of the world. They're like, okay, can I come this day? No, the episode's this Saturday. You can't,
I'll bring one.
It's hard. Casting is hard, y'all, but we are trying to get, multiple people in the community and the diaspora. Yes, Calvin, you gonna help us out with casting?
Yeah, I got the perfect one. We went to high school with her.
Okay.
Ooh,
Yeah, just so for people who might get in the comments and be like, y'all always do this without an African American woman.
Yeah,
we love y'all. We love our people. We love
y'all push them away.
Thank you to the panel.
Comments.
Will I Am was on one today. Shout out to Will I Am. No more Willy. Thank you guys so much. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Love you guys.